Felt bad for my wife this morning. She said, "Hey, Romy." He said, "Hey, Daddy." She been tight, dog. I've been feeling bad for her, man. She trying to get my mans to say, "Hey, mommy." He won't say it, dog.
Hey, man, it's coming, man.
It is. But the joke is, here's the funny part. He got his shots on Monday, right? And so, bruh, I'm in his little play area watching TV, and he did not care. He stood at the gate, jumping, crying for his mom.
Oh,
the entire time, like he did not give a shit.
Nah. Little boys want their mothers, man.
Facts.
That's why we always, guys, we're gonna jump right into it. But that's why we always talk when we talk to the fathers. It's like, yo, you can't be petty, man, because at the end of the day, the kids, they love both parents. Mm-hmm. And to any women that's listening right now, your child do want to have a relationship with their dad. And if you don't allow that child to have a relationship with their dad when they're 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, all those issues are going to come up. And we're going to talk about abandonment in the show today.
Oh my God.
But it's like, yo, if you love that little human, why wouldn't you do everything possible to make sure that little human grows up to be a healthy, happy human?
Bro, I was laughing so hard because I'm like, yo, come over here with me. Come hang out. Come over here. He was like, no. As soon as I pick him up, I put him down. He go right back to the gate. And he wanted his mom only. You know what I'm saying?
He needed to be comforted, man.
He did. And I guess, me playing Grand Theft Auto wasn't helping. So it was all good.
Hey, we teaching perseverance and endurance.
Have you ever thought about what age you going to let your little man, start playing the games he ain't supposed to be playing?
Man, all right. So, my son was watching. Gosh.
Here we go.
What's the name of it? What's the name
Here
of
we
this
go,
movie?
dog.
What's the name of this movie? It's a Will Ferrell movie, which should have been enough red flag for me to not let him watch this movie. But my son loves racing, so I forget the name of the racing movie.
Talladega Nights or whatever.
Talladega Nights, right?
Okay.
So I am thinking that this is a kids show.
No. What?
Bruh. So by the time, probably by the third time my son watches Talladega Nights, I'm sitting down and I'm watching it with him. And then I'm like, oh, shit. Right?
Look.
I was like, man. So to answer your question, at what age would I let my son play an inappropriate game? I mean, at this point, I'm already behind the 8 ball of things that dads should not do in life.
My nephew, for those listening, he's 9. He was over the crib. He was like, "Hey, can I play Grand Theft Auto?" And so his mom was there, and I was like, "No." And he was like, "Why?" And I said, "Look, your mom don't know that when you're here, I'll let you play it.
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to be playing it.
Not play it.
And if she's here, then I don't want the phone call later to be, hey, he told me that he's learned this. He's saying this. He heard this song. He did this with cops on here. I don't have, and it was such a thing. And so now we at this point where I'm like, yo, when do I stop cursing around my son? When do I stop all right, now I got to pay attention to what songs you listen to. Because for the longest, now.
Yeah, I mean, because they're babies, you can still kind of listen to it.
You can get away with everything.
I mean, sociologists probably eat the fuck out of us right now for saying that.
Absolutely.
But
we stopping the cussing. We going easy on the cussing because mom told us we got to chill.
Oh, yeah, that is right.
See, this is how we cater to women on this podcast. For some reason, our moms, more of Mike's mom than mine, listens to this podcast, and we have been told, because we listen to our elders, those wiser than us.
We respect our elders.
We respect women and our elders, and when they are 2 for 1, they package deal, then we going to be easier on the cussing. But sometimes, Mom, we going to have to let it fly.
Got to let it fly from time to time. And then sometimes you just got to fast forward 60 seconds.
We can put, in the show notes, we can put Mom Skip. That's what we're going to start doing. Yo, I want to welcome everybody to the Black Dads Clubs. Make sure you cop a shirt. You know what I'm saying? I'm working the brand.
Check out the merch, man.
Hold on, man. Hand claps for me.
Yeah, hey, my man, he really set up the Black Dads. I am slightly jealous that I don't have one today.
Look, I asked Mike to go to a website. I'm like, look, log in, create an account. That's all I needed Mike to do. Yeah. I handled the rest.
I logged in to create the account, and then this man, he done created the merch. He wearing it. But,
Absolutely.
Shout out to the Negro Leagues and shout out to the Black Dads Club for sure.
Shout out. This is episode 12, season 4. I want to welcome you. I want to thank you. Fellas, if you in the car listening, beep your horn. Nobody ain't going to know for what. If you in the car listening to this with the mother of your child or your wife, good luck, bro.
Yeah, good luck, man. Hey, matter of fact, just turn it off right now.
Yeah. And then listen to it.
Because it's going to be about sports. Okay, turn it off now.
There you go. So speaking of sports, before we get to sports, it is September. It's Take a Man Out on a Date.
Oh,
right, Mike,
it is.
Hold on. Hand claps for us.
Hand claps for the men. Men, if you have women in your lives right now, September is Take a Man Out on a Date month. Matter of fact, if you got a rotation, this is the perfect time to have a rotation of 4 or 5 right now. You should go out on 4 or 5 dates, and you too get to feel like what it's to be a woman in 2022.
Boy, die sex worker. We'll get there in a little bit. Let me ask you this. So one of our guests, one of our listeners who ain't supposed to be listening since this is a Black Dads pod, but she's listening. She wants to take you out on a date. She's listening right now. Where do you want her to take you?
You know what? So I'm a simple man.
Oh, gosh. Hate when they lie.
You know, I want to go to RH Rooftop.
That ain't cheap. I heard the mimosas like $30. I sure ain't take my wife. I was like,
I am
yo,
a simple man. But no, you know, honestly, man, I like dessert bars, man. Like, I love dessert bars.
Gosh.
So when I was in Charleston, there was this one called, like, Kaminsky's.
Okay.
I used to love going to Kaminsky's, man. And then when I moved to Charlotte, they opened up Crave.
Okay.
So, like, to me, like, I like sweets. So, yo, take me to a dessert bar, order me a couple Manhattans, and then, you know, I'm pretty easy after that.
Mike after that.
I'm pretty easy.
Mike giving up the draws after cake and whiskey.
Yeah. And then I'm going to send you a text in the morning and tell you that you used me, you took advantage of me while I was drunk. Absolutely.
Look, so for me, my wife, I hope I get a steak somewhere. You
gotta get more than a steak, man. You can make a steak at home.
I could, but I'm not. My wife, once we got married, she kicked me off of cooking in the house. Dead ass. It's been so messed up, man. I feel like that's disrespectful because I should have got a warning that, hey, you're no longer allowed to cook. And plus, you know, I've been knowing my wife longer than what we've been married to this point. So I felt like she bamboozled me. For 6 years, she let me cook. And then on one day,
y'all got married. She was like, nah,
bro, you done. So here's the thing. Let me tell you how simple I am. I want a steak or I want lemon pepper buffalo hot wings. Either or. So we can go to Hickory Taverns.
Lemon pepper and buffalo?
Bro, when I say it's crack, especially if it, Mike, it is bomb. If those who know, they know. Take me to what's my spot? What's the spot in South Park right across from Bentley's? It's not Dressler's. What is that? Either way, it's a steak place over there. I love it.
You talking about the Palms?
Nah, I'm gonna figure it out. They be emailing me. But the point is, we can go to BLT. I like they steaks over there.
BLT has great steaks.
Yeah, they do got good steaks, especially if you get the peppercorn sauce. For y'all who don't know, y'all need to figure it out. But yeah, I want a steak. Speaking of, so we got September, football season coming up. Can you please tell us why y'all signed Jimmy G to a 1 year?
Yeah, well, they couldn't trade him. That's all that was. But you know, I mean, you got a good backup behind Trey Lance. I ain't mad at it, man. I don't dislike Jimmy G, man.
Yes, you do. We heard you.
Well, I wanted Trey Lance over Jimmy G, but I don't dislike Jimmy G. I don't dislike him.
Trey didn't look too sharp in the preseason.
Trey looked fine, man. It was the preseason. They running base packages. Y'all do this every single year. Do y'all never get tired of overreacting from the preseason?
No, it's fun.
This is every single year. Y'all like, oh my God, you look terrible. Oh, the team went 0-4 in the preseason. Hey, bro, I don't overreact.
So for those who know, I know nothing about football. I'm a Panthers fan just because I was born here. I used to be a Rams fan, and my mom loved showing people me in a Rams jersey that was too big. I still got that jersey. It was a 2XL, and I had it when I was 12. Did not need it. That was a generational thing.
Lord.
Y'all don't know. But yeah, I'm going for my Panthers this year. I am guaranteeing it. We are firing Matt Rule by week 7.
No, y'all not, because Baker Mayfield gonna come in hot. Like, if there's anything Baker's good at, is playing with a chip on his shoulder.
Man,
and he's gonna play with a chip on his shoulder and what's gonna happen? He's gonna play with a chip on the shoulder.
Okay,
he's gonna get $150 million deal with $80 million of it guaranteed.
No, we can't get stuck with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
We not.
Baker, when you tell Baker he can't do something, he does it.
Why don't y'all want him?
We got Trey Lance. We good, bro.
Nah.
We good.
The restaurant is Del Frisco's. That's
Del Frisco's,
like.
yes.
Yeah.
Del Frisco's is probably the best steakhouse. And I know some of y'all be like, yo, I don't go to chain restaurant. And Del Frisco's is a quote unquote chain. But like, no, Del Frisco's probably that is probably the preeminent steakhouse, in my humble opinion.
Absolutely.
But I'd rather make a steak myself. I can't stand overpaying for a steak because literally I could just go to the grocery store, buy the same steak, butter, garlic, season it, dry it out, and then make the exact same steak at a quarter of the cost.
Oh, absolutely.
In the grocery store.
The difference is Mike can cook. All right.
This is true.
I've been told, so I used to eat my sister food all the time, right? And I remember my sister came to me. She was like, Mike can cook. And I was like, man, whatever, man. She was like, no. He for real can cook. And then I was talking to Ez one day. I was like, yo, I heard your brother can cook. He was like, nah, for real. He nice. I'm like,
yeah, I think I have to do breakfast. I would love, look, if y'all share this podcast with 10 of your friends and then they share it with 10 of their friends, I could be back self-employed and I could make cooking videos for y'all. I love cooking. It's relaxing for me, man. Like, it really, like, my mom for the longest, so when I was younger, my mom was like, she was like, you should go to Johnson & Wales. Now, today, everybody in Charlotte knows what Johnson & Wales is.
Yeah.
As a kid, I had no clue what Johnson & Wales. There's a couple schools that I could have went to that I had no clue because I was a clueless country boy. I would say I've screwed my life up, but it's turned out pretty decently.
Yeah.
But she was like, I was a baker, I was a cooker. I love cooking. So which is funny when people be like, yo, you're a misogynist because you think women should be in the kitchen cooking. And I'd be like, yo, you don't know me at all. Like, my woman does not have to ever go into the kitchen.
Nice.
She don't.
We gonna find her.
No, she got to be. She has to clean better than me. All right, because I leave clothes everywhere. That's just how I am. Like the house isn't nasty, but I will leave t-shirts anywhere. Like y'all know, like every time y'all see me, I have on a t-shirt.
Facts.
So like, if I walk in the door and I'm hot, like bro, I just pull a t-shirt off and then I just throw that thing right on the bench, and then it might be on that bench for 3 days. I ain't even gonna lie.
I am the king of my tennis shoes is everywhere. My wife hates it. Now, I like to say I'm cleaner than my wife. If she ever hears that drop, I'm going to be out the house. But I have
change before she listens.
Absolutely. I'm going to bleep that. But no, seriously, I have tennis shoes everywhere. I got like 3 in the garage. Look, I got 3 grass cutting shoes, and I ain't cut grass in 4 years. So that every time I buy a lawnmower, it break, and I don't feel like getting it fixed.
How the hell you tearing up lawnmowers, bro?
Bruh. One time I was cutting the grass and I hit something on the side of the house and just know shit was just leaking. And it was something to do with my...
Who tears up lawnmowers, bro? Like,
I'm from the suburbs.
This is the most suburban thing. You can't like ride over stumps, rocks, like all that you have to go around, Gavin.
I know, man.
Good Lord.
Bruh, it was just one day I was listening. I think I was listening to a podcast and I was laughing and I hit something. I was like, oh shit, it'll be fine. And then her dad came by and for those not know, my wife is Puerto Rican. He's like, yo, Papi, what's going on here? And then he fixed it. And he just looked and he just shook his head. And I know he was thinking like, yo, who the fuck did I get?
Yeah. My stupid ass son-in-law right now.
Absolutely. Speaking of stupid asses, a group of teenagers, we got to talk about Brian Robinson.
Yes.
What exactly happened?
So they were trying to carjack him.
Sad.
And then, they end up shooting Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson is running back.
For the Commanders.
For the Commanders. I think he played ball at Bama. Was a beast at Bama, actually. I want to say. And like, matter of fact, they were pretty much about to split reps between him and Antonio Gibson this upcoming season. Look, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with our community right now. This gun violence and this disrespectful young teenage black boyish thing that's going on. I'm gonna be honest. Look, adult men, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's time to start punching these little boys in the face. Yeah. Like no questions, that the moment they disrespectful, pull back your fist and start knocking these little. Now,
they shoot now.
The downside is, that's I was about to say. The downside is they're gonna come back and they're gonna want to shoot. We might need to handle this too. Like, we got to get this shit out of our community, man, and we got to push it out of our community hard as hell. Like, why can't a guy have something nice without a couple kids running up on him to carjack him?
Where y'all dads at? And I say that, and I realize that this is why, fellas, we have to stay in our kids' lives, because when we're not, these single moms go off and they are working and they're trying to provide and nobody's with their kid. Because here's the thing. I remember, let me tell you something that's funny, right? I'm at the crib and my mom comes over to the house and she has my nephew. For those that I know, my nephew, like I said, he's 9, but he's a big ass 9-year-old, right? And so he did something. He tried to step on my foot. So I stepped on his foot, right? And I missed him. So we're playing, he gets mad and he steps and does something. Before he could move, I had swiped him and I had him pinned on the floor because I knew what he was trying to do, right? And so he gets all worked up. He gets in the car. He's all upset now. And he tells, so when my mom comes around the corner, she just sees me having him pinned on the floor.
Yes.
And so I'm picking him up. I'm like, yo, you good? And I'm still laughing. And so when he gets to the car, I see he's clearly upset. So I go up to him. I say, look, man, you need to understand when you play with somebody who's bigger than you, and you playing with a grown man.
This is what it can look like.
This is what it can look like. He ain't did that shit to me since.
Yeah.
But it was all a joke for me. It really bothered him. He talked to my mom. He spoke to my dad about it. And my sister, she already knew. She knew what time I'm on. So she don't care. But the thing is, these kids, bro, they grow up and they don't think about consequences. I noticed that.
Yes.
And I would love to ask you a question of what age did you realize you're no longer invincible? Because for me, it took me, bro, I thought I was invincible till I was 22.
Oh no, it was the 6th grade for me. So yeah, because like, so I we used to get in a lot of fights in school. Like this was a thing, right? It wasn't like, it wasn't a big deal to get into a fight in school.
Yeah.
So I remember, because I was a quote unquote good kid, I would never start a fight because back then, if you started the fight, you get in more trouble than if you just finished the fight.
Absolutely.
So 6th grade, dude, we're out. I think it was like May Day, right? Mm-hmm. We're out, and dude is like, I had fought his friend earlier that day. I have 2 fights in a day in the 6th grade, right?
See, which
was a former friend of mine, and it's like I beat beat him up, right?
Yeah.
And this is not bragging; it just dude couldn't fight. So like his boy was like, all right, well, I'm up next, like the next boss. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna let this dude. I'm gonna let him start the fight.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't start the fight by pushing. He started the fight by punching. So he punches me square in my face, bro. I would never forget because it was that day that I stopped letting dudes take the first swing. That day right there, it stopped. Because he rocked the hell out of me. Like, I would never forget, bro. I'm in the 6th grade. He rocked the hell out of me, man. And I was like, oh, geez, hell no. I would never let anybody take the first shot at me again. Now, I got him, but that first, I felt it.
It took enough.
And like, that was the first time where I realized, like, it goes back to what we said about last week, man. It's like, yo, once you're in a good fist fight, you learn a lot of things can be resolved.
With words.
With words.
And so I look at these kids now, bro, and I talk to them because I'm a little bit closer in their age. And sometimes you talk to them, bro, and they, first of all, they can't think past the day in front of them.
Yeah.
Right? The more you talk to them, they can't think past a week in front of them, right? And then, so you do that, they don't think about consequences, bro. And then sometimes they look at it as like, they don't even do shit because they need it.
Well, no, I mean, bro, they're spoiled.
Yeah.
So it's this ideal of instant gratification. So I was talking to one of my partners, and he was telling me about his nephew, and he was saying, he was trying to reach out to his nephew. Nephew didn't respond, so he like called, and he was like, "Yo, like, why you didn't pick up?" And he was like, "Oh, my phone broke." And he was like, "Well, what happened to it?" He was like, "Well, it fell." And he was like, well, a phone is an inanimate object. The phone can't fall on its own. So what happened? And he was like, it hit the floor. He was like, okay, again, the phone is not alive. It's an inanimate object. What happened? And he was like, oh, it was on my lap and I got up and then I dropped the phone. So he was like, so you broke the phone, right? Like you broke it. And he was like, well, I mean, yeah, I guess. And we were just talking about that. And I was like that's the state of our kids right now is that we're not even raising them to be accountable for what they do. One of the things that I always do with my son is like, he understands is like, yo, if something happens, like if something was to break, and this is from the time he was like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
He'd come in, he'd be upset, and I'd be like, what happened? And he'd be like, oh, the bowl spilled over. Okay. All right, well, how? How did that happen? And it always comes down to something that he's done. And I'll be like, all right, all right, so whose fault is that, right? Like, is it nobody's fault? And he'd be like, that's my fault. Okay, since it's your fault, since you did it, guess what? You can clean it up, and there's no reason to be upset. Like, as I always tell my son, there's going to be plenty of things that are going to happen to you in your life that you're going to that you will be upset about that has nothing to do with you.
Facts.
This isn't one of them, right?
Yep.
So, are we teaching our kids? And no, I mean, I know we're not. We're not teaching our kids. Rhetorical fucking question. We're not teaching our kids because we are the participation trophy, you know, and that's probably my generation. I know you and I are like one generation apart.
Yeah.
Almost.
Barely.
Yeah, barely. But, you know, because I was born at the end of, you know, my generation, you was born towards, you know, the middle of yours.
Yeah.
So, like, we're still close, but we're different. But it is my generation's fault. It is these parents that was born in the 60s that had kids in the 80s, and they couldn't stand their child, you know, being 8th place, right? Mm-hmm. And you know what? If your child is 8th place, they didn't win.
They didn't.
They did not win. But we went into this era of participation trophies, and now we live in an era where everything is nobody's fault.
Yeah, facts.
What? Come on, man.
It reminds me two things going through your story. My mom and dad used to always teach me coming up, and he used to get on my nerves, and they used to call me careless all the time. And they used to teach me you can't be careless because being careless has consequences.
Yes.
And so it annoyed me, but as I got older, I would think before I would do anything.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't make a careless decision. And a careless decision means you just didn't care and a decision was made. And you had no impact on it, right?
Decision was made for you.
Absolutely, because of your carelessness. So they used to think about that, right? And I thought about that with you saying your son. And the other thing is, you know, my dad used to say, going back to what you said, he used to always hate participation trophies. And his number one thing was, I hate participation trophies because you didn't learn how to deal with defeat.
Yes, you did not learn how to deal with adversity. You did not learn how to deal with losing. Like, I don't know if I told y'all the story when like me and my son was racing. Mm-hmm. Did we talk about that last week?
Mm-mm.
So he wanted to go. We was leaving like a back to school thing because I wanted him to go to Johnson C. Smith. So we went out there, and he didn't want to be out there. It was hot. I get it. So we're leaving. We stayed there about 20, 30 minutes, and then we was walking back to the car, and it was like this long patch of grass. Mm-hmm. And he was like, you know, like, Dad raced me because, you know, he's becoming a big boy now, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, Dad raced me. So I was just like, you know, so I'm older now. I am not as quick as I used to be. Yeah. All right? But I'm still quick. You know what I'm saying? I don't waste it. I save it for when I have to, when I need it. So I was like, I'm going to give it to him, right? I'm going to whoop his ass, right? So we get out there and we take off. And I let him run hard, right? And I'm running right next to him. Then I just burn him up. I mean, I just eat him, right? It is terrible.
Rude.
So, you know, so of course he's upset.
Yeah.
So we're walking back to the car. We get in the car, and he's like really, really upset, you know. And I was just like, "Why are you upset?" And he was just like, you know, because I lost. And I was like, "Well, let's go again."
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, I don't want to go again." And I made the comment. I was like, "There's no son of mine that would just quit because they lost, right?" And I just make this comment, and I really just make it because I'm a little annoyed that he doesn't want to try again. Yeah. And I was gonna beat him again. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. Because I wanted him to experience that. So I'm about to crank the car up, and he just opens the door and he gets out. And I was like, oh.
He tried you.
He tried me, right? So we get out the car, and I was just like, I said, you ready to go again? He was like, yeah, let's go again or whatever. So I gave him a head start. Yeah. I said, I tell you what. I said, because you did this on your own, I am going to give you a head start. And I gave him a decent head start, and he barely beat me, right? And I did try to win, but I gave him too much of a head start. So he barely caught me though, right? But the thing was, it was like the fact that I was able to just spur that competitive nature in him. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not something. I won't say that's not something he's going to get from a mom. I'm just going to say that's unlikely to come from a mom, right? Yeah. Like, this ideal of like, yo, I need you to understand how to deal with failure. Mm-hmm. It's not because I hate my son. Facts. It's because I love him. It's like, yo, I know in life, no matter how much I care for you, no matter how awesome I am as a father, no matter how awesome you are as a child, at some point there's going to be a disappointment in your life. And I want you to be able to handle that.
Absolutely. I encourage everybody, before we go to the next thing, go check out the Derek Jeter story, the 30 for 30. It's amazing. He talks about how his dad never let him win anything. and how it used to piss him off, so he started playing baseball so he can beat everybody and everything. It's the funniest story. And his dad, and they cut to his dad. They was like, "Did you let him win anything?" He was like, "No, he wasn't good enough." He's like, so he played baseball and he became good enough. And, you know, Derek Jeter is Derek Jeter. All right. Single moms are upset, but this is going to be funny. She ain't even single.
Because there's many a black woman, and I myself was a married single mother.
Oh, gosh.
Sis, when I got married, I did not sign up to be a married single mother. I used to look at family members and friends, and I thought I had sympathy for them. They're doing this all on their own. And then I had to sit back and realize that I was a married single mother. I worked a full-time job, and I would come home, I would pick up the children, go by the grocery store if needed, get them ready for bed, get them ready for the next day, bathe, and then maybe crawl into bed about 11:30 and jump up 5 o'clock in the morning and do it all again while my partner lay down and snore or lay down and rest, come home from work, all he did was eat, take a shower, watch TV, and go to bed at his leisure. And don't let it be the weekend and I needed a break, because then he would say, I'm not babysitting, or he would go out the door and never look back and say, well, who's going to keep the kids? He would just walk out the door. Babysitting. I was.
All right, so I guess this is going to be a trend now, the married single mothers thing. Let me say something to the women that's listening to our podcast right now. I think our listener audience is like 30% female.
Shout out to y'all.
Yeah, shout out to y'all for listening or hate listening, whichever one. Appreciate either way. Please share to more of your friends to hate listen even more, because we need the numbers.
Cuss us out.
Yeah, but first thing first. This ideal that being married is being married and having children is worse than being single and having children. Please don't fall for this. All right, this is the narrative that's going around. And let's be clear, right? Sound like she was married to a dick, right? She might be embellishing a little bit on the weekends.
Absolutely. You got thought
that he was just leaving and leaving her with the kids when she needed a break. She could be embellishing some, or she could be telling the truth. But either way, per the CDC and Pew Research, the majority of black men are the best fathers in the home. All right, and that number was by far like 70%. Mm-hmm. So this idea that black men are going to be the worst in the home, per Pew Research to CDC, when it comes to married black men, over 75% of black men are bathing the kids, feeding the kids, reading to the kids on a nightly basis. All right, so in a marriage, you have a really good shot that you're going to get help. All right. Mm-hmm. What help do you have if you at home by yourself, Gavin, of having a man read to the kids?
None.
0%. Right.
Well, they like to FaceTime their kid. That's parenting nowadays. Y'all let these niggas get off with FaceTime.
Look. We tell the fellas on here, protect the all spark.
Absolutely.
Protect your seed. Do not have children with a woman that you do not want to be committed to. Period, point blank. Like, children are way more of a commitment than marriage.
Absolutely.
In some states, you can get out of a marriage in less than a month if it's uncontested. All right. If you have kids, I was talking to one of my homegirls, and her it's like her cousin. Anyway, long story short, his daughter is 28 years old, and her mom had moved on, married another dude, and like her and that dude was separated, and the situation was becoming volatile. So she moved in with her daughter, who's 28. Now, mind you, this dude is damn near in his 60s, right? So when her mom moves in, because her mom's new husband, not her stepdad, because she's not even there, but just her mom's new husband is making the situation volatile, guess who she calls? She calls her dad, right? So this man moving into his 60s has raised his daughter completely. He should be done with the situation, right? Mm-hmm. He's not. You're never done, right? So having children is a lifetime commitment. If you're not willing to commit to a woman in marriage, why would you want to commit yourself to having children with that woman? So I'm saying this. I say all of that to say this ideal of like don't let social media convince you that married single motherhood is a real thing.
Well, the problem, bro, is that the 20% speaks louder than the 80%.
Absolutely.
So what we don't realize is, I'm I've spoken to women who have terrible baby father situations or father of their child situations, right? Cool. And I ask all of them, how many good dads do you know? They tell me. I said, well, how many bad dads you know? That number is significantly lower for the bad dads they know. But they only talk about that, and sometimes it's because they are personally experiencing it. So the thing I look at is like all of us know more good fathers than trash fathers or just mediocre fathers. But we allow that narrative to be spread. And so when I look at this and you're saying, you know what I heard? Let's say everything you said was correct, right? Shorty said, on the weekends, he leaves out and said, I'm not going to babysit my kids.
She needs a break. Yeah, he don't want to keep his kid.
Sounds like your man is he's working full time and he's grinding so much so that when he comes home, he has time to eat and go to sleep. It seems like you have an easier job where you have to get off of work, you get the kids, you're able to feed the kids, get them ready, and then you have to wake up because you have to get them for school. Yeah. That sounds very similar to my situation in my household. My dad, he never, bathed us. He never fed us. He was always, look, when I woke up for school at 6 a.m, my dad was already gone. When my mom was putting me to bed sometimes, my dad was either just coming into the house or he was coming in later because my dad worked and provided. Now, Shorty ain't gonna tell y'all that her man was providing.
They're not gonna tell you. They're not gonna tell you that part of the story. But she's going from paying, whatever percentage of the bills that she paid then to right now. I can guarantee you, if she's single, she's paying 100% of the bills, sans child support.
Absolutely.
And we can get on that, today, as well. But this idea, look, if you choose men who want to be good fathers, you can still do things, right?
Yeah.
Like, my week with my son starts on Fridays, all right? I have my son Wednesday of this week, right? She had to head out of town.
Yeah.
No biggie. Your kid got a dad, sit on the me. No worries. Have a good time. See you when you get back. Right? And I'm not saying like, I'm like the creme de la creme of dads. I just told y'all I let my son watch Talladega Nights because I thought it was a kid's let's It is not.
I'm calling this.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we all fall short of the glory of God. Let's not get it twisted.
And then sometimes you got to look at, sometimes women like her, you got to warn your boys like, don't talk to her, don't marry her, don't date her, because my as I get older, as I do this podcast more, I'm trying to do better at recognizing like, these are not the women you need to talk to or deal with. Now, me, I'm married, so it's easy. But I be looking at certain dudes. I be looking at dudes. I'm like, he ain't pick up on this. So with her, she's talking about all that. And I'm like, my thing is, I'm listening to her decision making. She said she got kids.
Yes. You've had numerous kids. You got multiple kids. Like, look, marriage is about sacrifice. And
facts.
And I'll be honest. That was something that I really didn't fully grasped in the beginning of my marriage, right? And by the time it was unraveling, it was just like, I was unwilling, right? But I wouldn't sit here and be like, this shit is her fault that I'm unwilling. Like, no, I was just unwilling. Like, I felt like too many things had passed. I can't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't recover from, where we went to. But the misunderstanding of marriage being sacrificed, like, it's not meant to be fun 24/7. Anything worthwhile is sacrifice, right? Like when I put in 3 miles a day, I'd rather not.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to lifting weights, I'd rather not.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So when you're in a relationship and you want to get a fit relationship, there's times you're going to have to put in those 3 miles. There's times where you're going to have to put in that work. You'd rather not. I get it. But for you to get the result that you want, for you to get the fit relationship that you want, you're going to have to put in the work. And guess what? It's going to suck while you're doing it. But when you see the results, you're going to look in that mirror and you're going to be like, damn.
It's working.
This is working.
It's working.
It's all right.
Facts.
We're way better than the rest of those shit podcasts y'all listen to, by the way.
Yeah, man. And they be going viral, man. I don't understand it. But, it is what it is. Audio sounds great. The video sounds great. The lighting
I ain't going to just pat myself on the back, but like, goddamn.
I am. All right, here we go. The best of the kings. I think I have to say this because anybody has hardly ever said it. You said you're not a simp, but the way you treat a pretty lady is different from the way you treat an ugly lady. Just know you're deceiving yourself. When a pretty lady that is a stranger comes around, you start acting all nice. You start doing free errands for her and misbehaving. What? Okay. whatever, and that you could just be in her good books, excuse me. And then an ugly girl's around and you won't even treat her right, you treat her poorly.
All right.
This nigga, he got like 10 slides. I'm not reading all these.
No, we're not reading.
But you get the gist.
But you know, this is what I'm gonna say though.
He's a cornball. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
No, he's absolutely a cornball. 1, 2. I need us to. We got to be able to pivot a conversation. We spend way too much time having bad faith arguments. I do believe that this ideal of, you know, this high value man, high value woman is bullshit. And what I mean by that is who you are has to remain who you are. Now, what I like what he said there is a lot of you guys and a lot of you women, y'all treat people differently according to your attraction level to that person. All right. That does make you a not good person. It does, right? And I've seen it. I've witnessed people in my circle, whereas if a chick is fine, they run up to the door and they holding that door open, right? But if she ain't fine, they act like she don't exist. And it's like, bro, you can't do that. You have to be consistent with all women because at the end of the day, that's who you are. Women, it's the same thing. If you see a man and he's fine and you're like, he ain't got to do nothing and I'm going to give him the buns, right? Yeah. And then with the dude that's not really fine and you're not really feeling, you like, well, you're going to take me to Steak 48 3 times before I invite you over.
Let's go even simpler. The guy that's fine can say, hey, how you doing? And you answer.
Yeah.
The guy that's not attractive comes up and say, hey, how you doing? Leave me alone. I'm not talking. I got a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And
no, absolutely.
Like that's on a simpler thing.
Yeah. And that's why I'm like, this high. See, we've created this ideal of high value based upon what somebody has, right? How much Prada you have, how much Gucci you have, what's your sense, all those things, right? And we're like, you walk in and that makes you high value. No, it doesn't, right? A high value man is a man that understands that his job is to be a righteous man. His job is to be willing to lay down his life for his family or for a brother. That's a high value man, right? And not like his life in the sense of like, somebody's coming in to kill, but he's like, I will put myself on the line. I'll put my mental on the line. I'll put my resources on the line. I'll put my emotions on the line to make sure that everybody that's in my circle is okay, right? That is a high value man. Now, do men need to earn more money? Absolutely. Like black men, we definitely should be earning more money. But if your ideal of making more money and then you're still going to treat pretty girls like they're super pretty and then you're going to treat fat women as if they're not pretty at all.
Or unattractive
women. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not high value at that point. You're just a high earning dick.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and like, you're not helping the situation. Matter of fact, this is where simping comes from. Because simps don't do this for ugly women.
No, they don't.
They don't. You know what I'm saying? Like all the things that we talk about simping, they don't do that for ugly women. The only time they will allow women that they're unattracted to like really like comment and be a part of their circle is if they have a financial incentive to do so. Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey, Derek Jackson, et cetera, et cetera.
Well,
Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like because see when it becomes a financial incentive, right?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And they're like, okay, I'm not gonna hold y'all accountable for anything. And yes, all of y'all women are worthy.
Absolutely.
And that doesn't exist in any arena. There's no arena where when everybody shows up, they're like, okay, everybody gets first place, right? The only place that has occurred is when we talked about participation trophies.
Absolutely.
And that's not a real environment, right? Like all those kids that grew up in the participation trophy era, when they get out here in the real world, they get their ass kicked.
And they get so mad.
Because that's not how life really is.
Facts. And then plus, I mean, y'all simps, y'all just create more sex workers, but whatever.
We gotta create the dire sex worker red flag list.
Because
y'all get that next week.
What's happening is these simps are getting they slide into ladies' DMs. Let me speak, 'cause this is a man's podcast, right? Y'all will become simps, you slide into a chick's DM, you tell her what she wants, you take her out, and now she thinks that is the new standard. That a dude will pander to me, and the reward is if I answer his DMs, then I get dinner, dick, and drinks.
Yes. And like, and the guys are more or less like, yo, I get this ideal of, you know, I get to sleep with the woman, as if that is the whole goal of meeting a woman. Like, look, I'm gonna be real, man. I like to talk to women. Like, hey, I like to have a conversation with you. I like to spend time with you. I like the feminine energy being around me. The sex is a cool benefit. I ain't gonna lie. I enjoy sex with women, right?
Yeah.
But I want more than just the sex. And we've created this environment now that we have pretended that men are hornier than women.
Well, hold on. Before we get there, because absolutely. But I mean, honestly, simps do create diet sex workers. And what that looks like is, hey, you meet a chick and on day 3, she has all these standards. And you're just like, yo, I don't even know where you live at. I don't know your kids' names. I don't know your parent. Like, it's so much
I don't know anything about you. You are still a stranger to me.
But you sent me your cash app.
But yes, exactly. But you're asking, you know, for money. So again, it's definitely giving diet sex work. We're definitely in an environment where I think that women want all the benefits. Not all women, but we have women that are on these day naps that want the benefits of prostitutes and escorts without actually being labeled prostitutes and escorts. And I don't think it's their fault. I think it's the simps' fault.
Facts.
I think the simps are to blame for this. But are we going to rein this back in? Like, or are we just in the era of diet sex workers now?
We definitely in that era. And I knew that from when girls was, I told y'all this before, when the shorties was getting on OnlyFans and not doing nothing and they were still requesting, like the joke to me is the pretty girls now that's on Instagram and they got a private Insta and it's like, yo, follow me for $5 a month. Like, no, for what?
No, I mean, look. The hustle is fine, but the environment that creates the hustle is the problem, right? Yeah. Like people that are addicted to drugs are addicted to drugs regardless. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, now, should they have been introduced to the drugs? Perhaps not, but they're going to find those drugs regardless. Like the opioid crisis have been, you know, A1 proof of that.
Yeah.
But should we villainize the victim, or should we villainize the person that's supplying, or should we give them both credit?
Well, in this situation,
I think we should give them both credit. I think
absolutely.
I think the simps have created the diet sex workers. And we need to just say, all right, well, y'all belong together, right? Because it's like, absolutely. Yo, I don't want to simp. I don't want to pay to get to know you. But if that's what you expect, good luck.
Absolutely. Shout out to all the ladies that have their cash app in their bio and letting people know you for sale. I'm gonna leave that alone. Y'all can have that.
Man, I mean, we got to become better at understanding, you know,
women.
Definitely understanding women, but you know, so I was at a kickback on Friday night, and I told people about like, yo, 16 personalities, BDSMtest.org, and 5 love languages, right?
Okay.
So I was like, yo, like these are like 3 things that I recommend that everybody have in their relationship. So I was like, the hardest part about love languages is, once you know what your love language is, you actually want to love other people in your love language, which is absolutely incorrect. You have to love them in their love language. So if my love language is, you know, physical touch and quality time, and her love language is words of affirmation and receiving gifts, guess what I never do for her, or I forget to do for her, right? Like, I'm not thinking about I need to buy her gifts. You know what I'm saying? Because in my mind, you know, I know, like, I'm the worst person to buy stuff for, because the things that I want, I either already have them or they like just cost a ton of money, right? So it's just like, don't worry about it. You don't have to buy me anything, right? But my love language is not receiving gifts. My love language is quality time and physical touch. And I was like, but if I'm dating a woman and her love language is receiving gifts, I was like, that becomes real complicated for me to do, right? Because I don't understand what small gifts are. Right. So it's like, yo, like, I can't really understand that, like, yo, she just wants flowers or she wants a card. Like, you know, because those things to me look like a waste of money. Like, so I'm going to spend $20 on flowers and they're going to be dead in a week. Why don't I just give you the $20 and go buy yourself lunch? You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, you want me to buy, you know, chocolate. So you want me to stop, you know, I've been driving 45 minutes and you want me to stop at the gas station and waste 20 minutes waiting in line to buy you a Twix and then bring it to you. Like, so to me, the way my mind works, right, that seems unreasonable. But when you start learning love languages, for me to do those things is absolutely reasonable.
Absolutely.
And it's like, that's the hard part, right? Understanding people love language. BDSM test, man. I know y'all hate talking about sex with your significant others. I got another topic on this too. We're gonna jump on. Not today though. We ain't gonna jump on it today. But y'all dudes that want this crazy sex, but then y'all kind of look down on women that give crazy sex. Y'all gotta grow up. Y'all gotta grow up, man. That practice gotta come from somewhere, bro.
Yeah, it's the reason why LeBron shoots 50% from the field free throw.
Yeah.
Field goal.
Like
it's practice.
That practice gotta come from somewhere.
Facts. Like shorty good at what she does. All right, let me play this video because this is about to be hella funny. And it's gonna piss me off, but what do you still self? Another one. Oh my gosh, bro!
Hey, this Gavin's favorite song is.
What do you
who is that? Who is that?
That was DJ Khaled.
DJ Khaled.
I hate that song. I hate DJ Khaled like with a passion. I can't stand him, and you know why I can't stand him?
He plays it all.
He shucks and jives. But no, the reason why that always plays something Instagram be playing with me, bro, because they know what I like. Never mind, we'll get to that one day. Here we go.
Do you still self-sabotage with
romantic relationships? When someone is trying to get close to me, I will immediately start to feel suffocated. Like I need to find something wrong with you so that you don't get too close. Even if I want you to get close, part of me doesn't want to be vulnerable because vulnerability means being exposed. It's a feeling of, if you really get to know me, you might abandon me. There is still those sort of traces from childhood that have that voice that say, if I really let you in and you actually get to know me, you might abandon me. So what I need to do, I need to find a way to get in there first and abandon you before you abandon me.
Do you still self-sabotage?
But that was a nice segue too, man. We went from love languages to going into this ideal of abandonment.
Well, I thought we was going to the idea of like, yo, deal with your shit before you make other people deal with it, but whatever.
I mean, that's what abandonment is, though. But so it goes to the original point of understanding who you are, right? Mm-hmm. Deal with your shit before you come to somebody else and expect them to deal with your things. Like, no, that was so sad to listen to her because that sounds like something that happens all the time. It sounds like something that I've actually experienced. You know what I'm saying? Like this ideal of like, I'm going to leave you before you leave me. You know what I'm saying? Or, if I think you're doing something, then I'm going to start doing. Oh man, you talk about toxic. So absolutely, I can't remember like how many times where I'm kicking it. So I have this rule. And this rule came from somewhere. I'm gonna tell y'all guys what this rule is. This is definitely something that needs to be on the Patreon, by the way. But I'm gonna give it to you on the internet forever. So I have this rule where it's like, yo, if a woman had a dude and she still wanted to like fuck with me, I'd be like, yo, like don't call me because you found out that he cheated on you and you want to cheat back.
Okay.
So I have a rule of like, yo, I don't do revenge sex. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you got to go get that from another dude. Okay. Like if you're gonna cheat, like you're gonna own that shit. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like if you just cheating, like don't sit here and be like, yo, it's because he did something. It's like, no, you're doing it because you want to. You have an insatiable desire to have sex. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna let you sit here and blame this dude that has no clue all these things that I'm about to do to you for the next 6 hours. Right? This is not his fault.
6 minutes.
This is or 6 minutes with Gavin.
Absolutely. I got shit to do.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yo, don't blame this person for what you're about to do. Know who you are, own who you are, because sometimes when you look at yourself, you know what I'm saying, and you like, dang, I'm being a disgusting human right now. Mm-hmm. Right? Not disgusting in a good way, like, yo, like I'm not a good person right now.
Well, my thing is, bro, what age do we start looking at people and saying, yo, that is from your childhood or that's from a traumatic experience? You got to clean that up because nothing's worse than when I remember, I used to be around somebody and they used to always say, hey, I have abandonment issues. It started when I was a child with my parenthood. And I was like, damn.
You get to 30 with me.
We 30.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like at 30, at 30, it's like, yo, if you either got to go to counseling and therapy and work these these things out.
Yeah.
Or you just gotta stop talking about them.
Or I gotta remove myself from
Or
it.
I gotta
Because I'm cool with that. I'm cool with letting you be who you want to be, and I'm also way cooler with not being around it. Because the worst thing I can do, you know, my son is 1 now, right?
Yeah.
And shout out to my boy turning 1 this past week. But in that, I realize how valuable my time is, and even more I learned how valuable my energy is and who's around it. And so you realize, I'm like, yo, even though we cool, but if you 30-something dealing with some shit from childhood, I gotta be like, I'm good on you, bruh.
Yeah,
like,
that's the thing though. It's like I don't want to abandon someone per se, but back to the conversation last week, your circles have to change. But I mean, I am gonna say like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is not your dad's fault no more. This is not your mom's fault anymore. This is not your first girlfriend's fault. This is not your first boyfriend's fault. At some point, you got to decide. Are you gonna be the type of human that's really gonna take a risk, right? Because we do things that we're afraid of, every day, right? Like all of us have an irrational fear of flying. Despite statistically, it is the most safest way to travel.
Absolutely.
Right? Yes. So, but we all will put our trust in that pilot's hand.
Don't know
that we're gonna make
what's
it.
Going on.
No, you have no clue, right?
You don't even know what he looked like.
Yeah, like we all get in cars every day, right? But when it comes to these interpersonal relationships, we freeze up, and I think we freeze up because we really don't have enough true relationships in our lives to whereas anybody is calling us out on our bullshit. So what happens is that we create these narratives that become true, right? Like, yeah, of course, women are the issue because of X, Y, and Z. Of course, men are the issue because of X, Y, Z. Now, when we look at the data, we can tell that, it is somebody's fault.
Yeah.
Well, that's the data. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, that's not us blaming somebody. That's us saying that, you know what? This behavior needs to change. Like when we say, all right, we cannot have a married single mother's theme, right?
Yeah.
Statistically, that doesn't make sense because statistically, black men are the most involved fathers.
Absolutely.
So we can't say that like data. Yeah, see, we talk about data, right? So statistically, we can't say that like, if you get married, that marriage is going to be a single motherhood marriage. More than likely not.
Facts.
So are we going to sit here and talk about what's real, or are we going to keep pretending to making up these narratives?
Oh, we got to make up the narratives, man. We got to. How much would it take for us to sell out?
How much would it cost for us to sell out?
Come on, think about it.
Let's see here. For us to sell out and it become panderous?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know, 26 mil.
26.
I mean, I'm not doing it for single figures, man, because that's your integrity. So it's like, I'm not gonna do it for 7 figures because if you upset, I gotta live with myself for the rest of my life. But if you can let me live with myself in Cape Town in a $5 million mansion, you know what? Fuck it. I might be like, niggas ain't shit. All goddamn pod. Look, I might do it.
I was laughing. This is something you don't care about. This is so random. Sorry. It just popped up in my head. I was laughing. I was watching a show called Glow Up. I was telling Laws about this off mic. And so the show is just like, it's a show. It's about makeup. I watch it simply because my wife started watching it and it inspired me with like high fashion makeup and photography, right? And so now I'm like invested in the show. And the show definitely is a pandering show. They pander to the LGBTQ plus community like times 10, times 100, right? So much so that the first episode, now this ain't pandering because the first episode, the only gay guy on the show won, but he was the nicest. Like this dude, he was doing, it looked like he was face painting, but it was just solely with makeup. He blew it. Everybody was trash. The second year, they started the pandering because this was right around the time where a lot of stuff was going on in China and Asia and all that. So the Asian girl won. She wasn't the nicest, but she won, whatever, right? So this year, the whole cast is like if there's a cast of 10, 8 people are part of the LGBTQ plus community, right? So it's the one dude on there who is nice, but he got, his pronouns is he, him, she, her, they, and them. So he got all that. Bruh got on heels. He got on a dress, all that. And so I'm going to speed the story up, but the point is he finds himself, this episode 1, bruh. He finds himself in the elimination thing where he's facing off with one other person and they have to put eyeliner on a person. And so I'm looking at it and here I go, damn, they about to send the sister home. because it's a black girl he's going against. I'm like, man, it's about to be, no, it's a black guy. So I'm like, they about to send the black guy home. This about to be trash. It's the only black dude on the show. I'm like, here we go. Because this dude is nice.
Yeah.
Mike, they say put eyeliner on this girl. It has to go like this. They showed him what it had to look like. They instruct him on how to do it.
I can't believe they have a show on makeup, but keep going.
Oh, the show is bomb for me. You know what this dude did?
What?
He just wrote queer all over the girl face.
That's it.
That's it. He wrote queer with the liquid eyeliner. He wrote queer all over her face. And you know what bruh does? He goes, I hope I got my message across and to get out, what I think is important. And bro, when they panned the face, because I saw him writing it, and I'm like, what the hell is he doing? Didn't even get near her eye.
He didn't do the eyeliner at all. And
I told Laws, I said, you know what made me tight about this? I said, this is a show that caters to your community. So much so that 90% of your other housemates are a part of this community. And you thought you was doing them a favor to spread your wings and say, hey, I hope I get my message across. I said, they deleted 90% of what you was doing and didn't show it, and you threw it away. Now, in my mind, bruh mentioned earlier how he has a daughter. Mm-hmm. I said, his baby mom called him. It's like, yo, get your ass home. Stop playing with this makeup. Get your ass home. It's your week with the kid.
It's your week, so he had to lose intentionally.
My man had the dip set, but that's something random. I just popped up in my head.
That is definitely random. Gavin gonna get us canceled.
Nah. That shit is funny. It's gonna get us some views because they don't play over there, and it's in the UK. Shout out to our UK listeners that we have just received because of that. You brought up something off mic
about
preferences in sex.
Yes.
Do you want a freaky chick?
All right, so this conversation came up. So I'm out, fellas and ladies, and so it was one of those things. So it was several questions, but like what the gist was, it's like, do you want a woman that is vanilla?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But virginal, however you want to call it. Yeah. Or do you want a woman that is freaky?
Okay.
So as a preference, like, do you want? All right. So here's the thing: if she is vanilla and basic, that's all she's ever going to be, right? You can't say, all right, I'm going to date her, but I'm gonna turn her into a freak. Like, no, this is all she is. She is just missionary, sometime doggy style. That's it. You might get smacked one time. You do it twice, she's gonna turn around, look at you, and she's gonna stop, right? So
she's a fish.
Yeah. So this is vanilla, all right. Or you can have like the free, like,
whatever you into,
whatever you ain't into, she gonna introduce you into it.
Facts.
Because everything nasty I've learned has been from women. So, so which would you prefer if it comes to preferences? For your wife, right? Not the woman you having sex with, for your wife, the mother of your children.
I already know where we going, and I won't steal the ball from you like how you did to me last week. I listened back to the podcast. I'm like, yo, he really stole the ball from me. I'm not taking the vanilla chick as my wife. I'm not. I'm sorry. I can't do it. And the reason why is because if I get bored, I'm gonna cheat. Sorry.
No, so okay.
Sorry, I'm gonna cheat.
And I'm with you. I cannot. I would choose the more sexually experienced woman.
Okay.
Now, that goes to part 2. So that's preferences.
Yeah.
Where do men think experienced women come from?
Like I said earlier, LeBron James do not shoot 52 from the field goal percentage.
He's probably working out, practicing every day, right?
He put in his 10,000 hours.
He's putting in 10,000 hours.
Assume your wife, if she's a freak, has put in her 10,000 hours. Now that's exhaustion beyond measure.
Damn. I would go say 10,000 hours, but I would go say she's good at her job. Like, there was definitely some practice put in. Why does that bother me? And this is not pandering to women. I know women gonna love this segment right here, but y'all are out of bounds right now, and y'all are out of control. Y'all need to get your shit together.
That's simp stuff.
But yes, but here's the thing though: the simps don't even get that though. Like the amazing sex goes to the truly masculine, don't give a shit men.
Bruh.
That's who it goes to. The simps don't even get that kind of sex.
I remember, shout out. 2 things I remember. I'm going to get to your brother second. I remember.
Please don't get him in trouble.
Nah, I won't. But when I remember my cousin when I was younger, the reason why this is why you need older brothers. And if you don't have an older brother like myself, you need an older cousin who does way more shit than you do and put you on, right? And I remember I was telling my cousin, we was too young to even know talking about sex. And I remember I was like complaining. I was complaining about this chick. And he was like, bro, why does that even any of that concern you? That won't be the last chick you mess with. And I wasn't even having sex, but I was complaining about having sex with her if that was ever going to happen. And it still didn't happen. To this day, it ain't happened. But he was like, bro, that has nothing to do with you. Now, to your brother, I remember one time I'm talking to your brother about this girl, and it's me and this girl took a break, and we came back, and I'm hitting your brother up, and we talking, and I'm like, yeah, she got in the room, she started doing this shit, and she ain't never do that, and he just busts out laughing, and Ez is like laughing. I'm like, what's funny? He was like, well, where the hell you think she learned it from? He's like, bro, she didn't learn it from you.
Yeah, where you think she got it from?
She got it from, and I was like, damn, she been fucking around. He just busts out laughing. He's like, all right, bro, you could think she watched porn if you want to, and she just picked up on it. He's like, you said she was experienced a little bit with it. I'm like, yeah. He was like, yeah, bro, what do you think?
Yeah, she was good at it.
And so I had to tell you, bro, I'm like, nah, but she said all this. He's like, bro, she's a liar. He's like, get the fuck out of here, Gavin. And that was that. So it was just funny.
But it is funny. But it's like, yo, like guys, hey, man, we got to get out of our feelings, man. Like you can't be chasing tail all the time, and then when you catch the tail and it's the tail you want, you like, yo, this is the like. She ain't learning the book, man. That's all I'm trying to say. She's not learning the book, and that's okay.
And it's fine.
That is 100% okay, man. Because you know what I'm saying. It ain't like you walked into this thing, you know, white as the driven snow either. Yeah. So, you know, like.
Think of yourself as Steve Kerr. Mark Jackson put in all the damn work.
Mark Jackson put out, and you get all the glory. And you know what? Who would you rather be, Steve Kerr or Mark Jackson?
Facts. Answer that in the fucking comments.
Kerr all day. So, yo, if I get the chick and she fine and she nasty and she mine, she's loyal now, bro, I'm good. I don't care about everything prior.
Shout out to her.
But let me know if we need to move cities, though.
Okay. Facts. What Drake said, you over here got me shaking his hand. Now that's messed up.
That is messed up. Well, boy, we ain't gonna touch that today.
We're gonna leave that. We do need to touch on Ohio and South Carolina because y'all wilding out.
All right, Ohio and South Carolina has said that with the heartbeat bill, that bruhs, y'all get these girls pregnant, they can sue y'all for child support like week 8, week 6 in South Carolina. And what's crazy about week 6 is, according to most women, they don't even know they pregnant 6 weeks.
Facts.
Into it. So it's like, yo, y'all do. You know, I just put it like this. You do not want to get hit for those arrears.
Oh yes, you do not.
Protect the Allspark, man. Like real talk, dude.
Be careful.
Protect the fucking Allspark, man. Like there is no reason to nut in a woman if you are unaware of her ovulation window. Like that's just real, man. Like I don't know how much clearer we could be. Like, bruh. Before you nut in a woman, man, like get her ovulation window, you know, be like, yo, no, I don't even want a screenshot. I need to see that on your phone. When you come over here, pull open. Hey, Clue is one. I think Glow is the other. Those like 2 most popular apps. Ask them to open them and look at the ovulation window. Take a screenshot of it, send it to yourself, and then start tracking it in your phone. It's going to take you 60 days to get an accurate standing. If you keep dating her, you'll know when she have her period. Bruh, like for the love of everything good, please start taking your reproductive health serious.
Seriously.
Like I know that the society talks a lot about the women's reproductive health, but as men, right, you have the Allspark. There's no babies without you seeing that womb. There's none. There's zero babies if you see the womb. Please start looking up fertility awareness method. Please stop shooting up the club with women you have no intentions of being with,
that you don't even know.
Yeah, true. You don't even know them. Like let's stop doing that. If I'm not telling you stop having sex, I'm not even telling y'all not to stop hitting raw, because I know y'all do. Half of y'all gonna hit raw. Period. Point blank. I ain't even blame you for that. Like, yo, do it, but just make sure she ain't ovulating, and start practicing fertility awareness method. Start practicing, withdrawal. Like, protect your reproductive health, man.
Facts. Please do. Take care of yourselves. Last thing, and then we're gonna hop up out of here. Should men be in the room?
Should men? I really want to hear the audience on this. So when my son was being born, I had made the comment that I don't have to be in the room let me know when the baby gets
Did
here.
you get cussed out?
Yes.
Okay, me too.
Absolutely got cussed out.
Yeah, me too.
So, so when my son was being born, I was in the room, and I'll be honest, it wasn't as bad as everybody made it out to be.
It wasn't.
It really, really wasn't. It was. I don't want to use the term glorious because she was probably in a ton of pain.
Yeah.
But it was crazy to watch. Like I was like, my goodness.
It makes you appreciate the mother of your child.
Yeah, and it definitely did not make me not want to have sex again. Like,
Wait for them 6 weeks.
Yeah, what? Was it 6 or 8?
It's 6
I'm pretty sure we cut it close.
Yeah, they tell you 6, and then and that's at the early end. But you know what? I put it like this. Like you, I made a comment like, "Hey, I don't have to, whatever." Now it was different for me because I had a child during COVID.
Yeah.
So it was only one person, and it was no swapping. It was whoever came with you on the hospital on day 1, they left with you on the final day. And you couldn't swap it out, right? And so it was so funny that morning. I'm going to my nephew's first day of school, and my mom goes, "Hey, I really think you should ask her if she wants her mom there." She said, because while your dad was there, I really needed my mom during birth. And she said, it's always about what makes the mom comfortable. And I said, absolutely. And so I told my mom, I said, as soon as I get home, I mention it to her. And it didn't happen. I get a phone call.
And that was the gem right there, too, from your mom, because I wouldn't even consider that.
Yeah, and you know what it is? To the dudes that's out there, it's like, no, I gotta be there. I don't care. I get it, bro. But at the same time, it ain't about you. And I tell all new dads now, you find out it's not about you the moment you step into that hospital.
Yeah.
And it's something about her mom already knows it's not about them.
Yeah.
And just for my mom to break that down for me at that time and say, look, it's about her. And my mom spoke from her experience. My sister spoke from her experience. I was like, absolutely. But we didn't get there. And then absolutely. Only thing I say, watch your shoes. Because I cut the umbilical cord and they didn't tell me the blood was going to squirt. And I had on some J's and I was pissed. And, they didn't get on my shoes. But, it was cool to be in there. I didn't see nothing. Shout out to Nurse Jillian. She made sure she angled the mirror so my wife could see, and I couldn't because I was like, yo, I don't want to see shit. But it made me appreciate my wife, seeing her go through pain, seeing her be happy, seeing that first touch. You see your girl in a way you've never seen her before.
Absolutely.
So it makes you appreciate her.
Yeah, so this should men be in the
absolutely. They should be allowed, but actually
men should be. But check with your wife. But I put it like this. Don't say you're not going to be there. Because
you're going to get cussed out.
You're going to get cussed out.
Yeah. You got any last words for us?
Anything today?
Nah,
man. He ain't
even preach for y'all.
Yeah, we'll finish it up. We'll finish up next week. Next week we're gonna talk about this win at all cost mode between the battle of the sexes. We gotta work on this. This battle of the sexes thing. While it is going nuclear, this win at all costs though. Like that can't be.
That can't be the end all be all.
Can't be the end all be all. We'll discuss it next week.
We'll discuss it next week. Hey, listen, we need y'all to send this to 3 people. I know I put this at the end, damn it. But sorry. Send this out to 3 people. And with that, we're going to holler at y'all next time.
Holler at your boy.